Walking tacos might be one of the most simple but versatile meals that we can make while we're out camping. Let's take these four ingredients, put them together, and see how it comes out. And then at the end, we'll talk about a couple options, maybe a couple add-ons that we can do. So the first of our ingredients is this chicken breast in a can. But I was debating whether or not I was going to strain off the water or leave it in. But then I think the second ingredient that I have is taco seasoning, which looks like it's about time to pick up another bottle. But usually when you add the taco seasoning to the meat, you add some water to it to rehydrate, like the dehydrated onions and whatever else is in there. So I think we're going to leave the water in the chicken, try it that way. And when we're all done, we'll find out if that was a good choice or a bad choice. All right, so let's start by getting the stove ready. I did learn something from this since the last time I tried it. There is actually an igniter built into the stove. So that's one less thing that we'll need to worry about, hopefully. The refillable propane tank there. All right, there we go. You just turn that knob all the way to the left. That's really loud too. All the way to the left, the igniter goes off. And then we can back down that burner to our temp that we want to maintain. So let's crack open that can of chicken. And like I said, we're going to leave the water in this time. And we'll see what happens. So yeah, that's some pretty large, chunky chicken there. We'll chop that down a little bit. And let's add that seasoning now. So I don't have measurements for this because we're just going to test it and see. But you're gonna flavor to taste anyways, right? Flavor to taste, isn't that what they say? I'm gonna rehydrate those spices there and see what happens. All right, that didn't take long at all. I probably could have left some of that water out of there, but it looks like that seasoning's well absorbed into that chicken now. So we'll cook that down just a little bit more, try to dry that out so that it doesn't make our tacos completely soggy. That chicken is starting to dry out now, so we're going to go ahead and turn that off and add our next ingredient. Now that chicken's dried up really well, season looks like it's well absorbed. We're actually just now starting to stick to that pan a little bit. So we have a choice now. We can either add the meat to our next ingredient, which is the bag of chips, or we can put our fourth ingredient, which is the cheese, into the meat to melt that and then put it in the bag. I think what I'll do is I'll put the ingredients into the bag separately, stir them up, and we'll see how that works out. In my tank bag, I carry a pair of trauma shears because you never know when you need scissors. You could just do this with a knife also. What I do is I cut the corners off, and then between the corners, off to the long side there. And now we're going to crunch those up a little bit. Crunch those up a little bit. Hopefully that wasn't too loud for you. Let's add the cheese. Let's put the cheese in there. We'll put the meat on top. Grab a good handful of cheese. Put it right over the meat in case it does spill. It spills into our other ingredient. Shake that up. Meat into the bag on top of the cheese. Stir it up and enjoy. Stir all that up in there. Oh, that's going to be cheesy, crunchy, meaty. It's a little salty. I might have either added too much of the taco seasoning or the liquid that was in the chicken. That might have been contributing to that salt flavor. But, you know, if you're out riding, sweating, that salt is going to be part of that electrolytes that you need to keep hydrated. So I don't think it's a bad thing, but there's your options there. So maybe come down on that salt a little bit, take out some of that liquid, save some fuel at the same time, because then you're not boiling off as much of the liquid. But yeah, that's a winner right there. So that right there, that 100%, that's a winner. But let's talk about some of the optional ingredients that we can add to it. If you're going to have access to keep things cool, we could do like some salsa. We could throw some salsa on there. If you're going to bring the cheese that's going to be refrigerated anyways, that might be okay. But maybe you don't want to do the refrigerated cheese and salsa. We could bring a can, jar, something like that of a processed cheese thing. We could do some of the Taco Bell stash. Maybe you got some seasonings, some salsas that you've saved from Taco Bell. You know, some Tabasco or Cholula, Tapatio salsa. The other thing we could do is we could take some of the cheese that's in like these meat and cheese sticks. Doesn't need to be refrigerated, but we could chop that up and we could put that in the bag with it. I don't know. Maybe we'll try that later. Another thing that we could do is like they have the squeeze bottle of the sour cream. We could put sour cream in there. That would be amazing, honestly. Or maybe I'll try a little bit of the Kewpie mayonnaise one time. I don't know. But as it is right now, definitely a winner. Walking tacos. Your whole lunch in a bag right here. Lunch, dinner, breakfast. I don't know. Could we do a breakfast, a walking taco breakfast? Maybe we'll do that. Some other options. I mean, the regular nacho cheese Doritos good. Cool Ranch, that I bet you that's probably pretty amazing. Barbecue, maybe? I don't know. This is kind of a plain flavor to start with, but we could build off of this real easy. We could have a lot of spice to that. So maybe instead of the barbecue, maybe we could start with this and then do that. That could have our cheese in it also too. Some cheddar and sour cream ruffles. I bet you that's a good one. Or for a totally different texture, we could do Cheetos. Again, cheese. We've got lots of options. Maybe we'll do that. If you got some value out of this, I'd appreciate, clicking that like button down there at the bottom. Maybe consider subscribing if this is something that you want to see pop up in your feed. Easy meals that we can make while we're out camping, riding, motorcycle, and whatever. Maybe you're car camping. Maybe you're hiking. This right here would easily, be an amazing meal, however you're doing it. Or at home. I made it last night. Try out the recipe. It was great. So you want something quick, easy, fix for the family? There you go. Again, click that like button down below. Consider subscribing. And if you want to support the channel further, consider becoming a Patreon member. All that information will be down below in the description. In addition to the recipe for this and the items that I used in this filming. All right, fellow adventurers, we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.